Everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. Hopefully my dog will behave. He likes to sit behind me when I'm making a video and then starts barking. So hopefully he'll be quiet. You're gonna be good, Rusty? Anyway, I'm here and I haven't visited with you in a while, so I thought I would chat a little bit. And I'm working on some fabric tags and hopefully getting a snippet roll started here. I noticed lately the colors I've been pulling out are these creams with, I always say my favorite colors are muted pink, but it's usually now more of a pop of bright pink. Can you see that? So anyway, I'm gonna sew a couple of tags, and if you're interested, I don't think sewing is extremely exciting to watch, but I like to chat while I craft, and I don't have anybody here to craft with, but if you guys stick around, I'll have you. So my sewing machine is very old and needs a lot of pampering. But all I'm doing here is layering some of my favorite types of fabric and sewing, and I think I might add a little bit. I have some bags with all kinds of snippets in them, and there's some cheesecloth in this one, and I want to add a little bit of cheesecloth to the side of this one. So I'm going to just snip off a little bit and tuck it under here, and then I can always fray it later to make it a little more shabby. Yeah, it's done. I really enjoy watching the videos you all have put up. And recently I entered the boot challenge that Shaz is doing, and it gave me a great excuse to make a fairy house. If you haven't checked that challenge out, it's really fun. You alter a boot into whatever you want, and it takes you deep into your imagination, and some of the things people have come up with are just amazing. I also watched Angie Paisley make something on her sewing machine, and it spurred me on to pull out my sewing machine. Can you see that? It's nothing that special, but I kind of like the layers that are going on there. So I'm going to do the other one just like that, and then I'll probably stick the embellishments on with glue. But I have been having a good time just zipping things up. Oops, my thread just came out. One second, everybody. I've been having a lot of fun zipping things up on my sewing machine. I am not a seamstress. There are so many on here that are. Jeannie Dreamer and Laquita at Pampered Petals. They're amazing with the sewing machine and beading and all that good stuff. But a straight stitch works for me. As long as my machine can straight stitch and zigzag and back stitch, I'm good. When I was in high school, we had to take home ec, and I really liked it. And we made an apron. It was called a torn project. So you kind of had to tear on the, what was it? I don't know, was it the bias? No, whatever it was, it supposedly helped it tear nice and straight, and I did have good success with it. I remember my mom bought us this really cool fabric. It was nice, good quality cotton fabric that had the metric system on it. If you all didn't know, my mother is a big stickler for education, and we didn't learn the metric system very well in our school. And honestly, I still don't know it very well. So the fabric she got us had the metric system, so that hopefully we could get the metric system in our heads. But I did learn to sew. just enough to do the necessary things. And I definitely learned how to hand sew from my mother. She's a great mender. If you have socks or anything that you want done, she loves to mend. I never liked to mend. I like to throw the socks away and go buy new ones. It's just the truth. So that one's done. Is this too bright? I think it is too bright, isn't it? You probably can't see. Let me try and turn the lighting down a little bit. First I'll try to focus it a little better. And let's see if I can get the lighting a little better. Sorry, I'll try to go quick. Oh, I hope that helped some. The sewing machine light is really, really bright. And because it's just a tag, I'm not going to worry about back stitching. I don't even really mind about the trailing threads. So now I have two very similar, and we'll move the sewing machine back a little bit. Oops, have my coffee over here. And I think I'll go ahead and embellish these first. I love this ribbon. I found this really pretty ribbon. I showed it to you in a haul once. It's fabric ribbon, and I got it from, was it Hobby Lobby? I think it was Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to use some of my melted flowers that I made not long ago when I was on a big handmade flower kick. But I like the thin silk flowers for this because you can put them in a journal and they won't be too bulky. So I'm going to layer them two at a time. And we can go that way, stagger it a little bit like that. Oh, it's so fun to just be able to sit down and craft. I've had such a busy week. It's Wednesday, and my first thought was I'm just going to sit down and veg and do nothing. But then I'm looking at my bag of crafting that I had gotten organized because we had to sit in a waiting room with my mom for a little bit, and I didn't get to it. So I thought I will get to it by turning on my video camera and chatting with you for a little bit. So if you're sticking around, I just want to say hello and thanks for visiting with me. I'm sticking some fibers down in there just because I love how that makes it even more shabby, and I like the kind of feathery effect that you get. So now I have those in there, and then let me see if I can find this trim. Oh my goodness, it is so cute. It's in here. I was hijacking stuff from my sister this afternoon. Anyway, they're like little balls, pom-poms, but they're gingham. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? So anyway, I thought that would make a pretty center for the flower. So I just cut one off. I might just do one. I'm going to put the glue on here. I opened my new bottle of Fabri-Tac and I cut it a little too wide, so I'm not loving it. So now this one might be a little thick for a journal, so I'm going to just do one of these little ribbon roses for the other one. And I love that pop of pink. I'll show it to you. See it? It's a great pop of pink. And then once that's all dry, I'm going to fray this a little bit more. I'm just going to cut it a little more narrow and then fray it more to make it even more shabby. So just that quick, I have 2 tags, 2 fabric tags. And you can back them with paper and use them in a journal to write on, or not. So I have those 2. And then I was gonna start on, let me see, maybe we can do one more tag. Let's see what fabrics I might have. This is a little out of my comfort zone for brightness, but maybe I'll use it. I don't know. Let me see, I have some cards in here. Hi Rusty, are you down there? What are you doing down there, bud? Oh no, that would be serious contrast, wouldn't it? You know what? I'm not inspired, so I'm gonna change and start working on the snippet roll, because I got tons of fun stuff for the snippet roll. So we're off and running into the new year. So far so good, thank God. So this is I have this really nice linen fabric, if you can see it, and then I cut the middle panel of a table runner, and that's going to go down the middle strip of my linen fabric. And then, because I have a seam here, because I wanted to make it longer, I'm going to put, where'd my doily go? There it is. I'm going to put a doily in the center. So if you want to sew with me, move this back over, and I'm just going to sew down this panel right down the middle. I left the little trim here because I'm going to use that in some way to fasten it shut with that little tail of scalloped lace. So just gonna zip this up. One of my favorite things to make are snippet rolls, because you get to use your little bits. Zip it up this way. And zip it back this way. So I've started back to my regular job, which is teaching pottery, and I love clay and I love teaching pottery, but I haven't gotten the fabric out of my system, and I don't want it to get out of my system. So I go and I do my job and I do it as best I can, and as soon as those days are over for the week, I come right back to my fabric craft. I just love it. I've discovered that manipulating fabric really is similar to clay, just not as messy. I think my stitch is not tight enough because this is almost trying to ruffle. I need to tighten it up a little. Okay, and then this is the pretty vintage doily that I'm gonna stitch right down the middle to cover up that seam. Well, I'm gonna sew it hopefully in a circle. We've been doing some fun things in pottery. I think at some point I'll come on and at least show you what we've been making. next week we're going to make a teapot. So that'd be something fun to show you all if you want to see. I won't show you how I made it, I'll just do a little project share. Okay, so there is the center doily that I just put in. I really want to sew that down because it looks like it's going to curl if I don't. So I'm going to sew it down. I've also been really enjoying hand sewing again, and just it's been relaxing to just sit with a needle and thread and do a lot of this. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's one of the things it likes to do. So let me fix that. It'll get a little kink. So you have to talk nice to my sewing machine. Okay. There we go. So there's the initial strip for this snippet roll. I could probably make 12 snippet rolls and not run out of snippets. There's just so many scraps. So that's the initial one. Some of the pieces that I put on here I'm going to sew, and some I'm going to glue with my Fabri-Tac. Just depends on what it is. But let me show you some of the fun snippets I have to go on it. And I won't put the whole thing together on camera, but I was having a lot of fun just, you know, like pilfering through my scraps. And I have like this little piece, and even this little piece of a ribbon rose, which I think is really pretty. I'm going to try to put the camera closer if I can, so that you can see. Oops. Let's see if I can make this work. Yeah, I think I can. There we go. So here are some of my snippets. I'm going to go ahead and glue a couple of these down. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue because I want this to be a functional snippet roll, so if somebody really wants to use it, they can. And hopefully it'll just peel right back up and not have so much glue that it's not easy to use. But I'm going to put a lot of the flat things on first. This was gifted to me. I think this little piece was made by either Popsy's Ribbon and Lace, which is Avril, or it was Colette at Country Creations. Look at this piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that trim. And that I know I can't put down with sewing because of all the sequins. So I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue. Fabri-Tac peels off nicely, so that's an advantage. I think I'm going to put it right down the center. And then I can layer other things on it, or maybe on the sides of it, so that if they want to take it off, they can. And I've really been using pink as an accent color a lot lately. Well, like there's this little piece that says made with love, and I have a little needle and thread, so I can just sew that on really quick. And maybe I'll find like a little, what's the word I'm looking for, accent piece to stick down in the middle there. So like this piece will snip off real easy, my little Made with Love tag. And what else do we have in here? We've got bling. I think I mentioned how much I love these little crocheted pansies that you find on doilies. I love those. This is a silk rose. That's a little too tall. And that is a super bright pop of color. I have so many of those. They come up everywhere. There's this fun little gathered piece. I think I'll put this on. I like it. It's a little ruffled piece of floral ribbon. Let's see here. Where can I put that? Oh yeah, that's pretty. I think a shorter piece though. And then I'll add that piece somewhere else as well. And I will do a little dot of Fabri-Tac. Just a dot. Like so. There we go. It's a pretty piece. Oh, I like this one. Can you see this? It's real vintage in ecru color. Needs pressing. But I don't know what kind of emblem it is. But I think it belongs on here. It's super pretty. Yeah, I'm going to stick that there, and I think a little blue there will really help. I don't want to pull out the iron just for that little piece. So we'll do that. And I won't do the whole snippet roll on camera just because, well, you'll probably get very bored, first of all. And then if I give it away, the person I give it to won't see the whole thing if they watch. So there is that pretty little crocheted emblem that can get cut off and used. I love this little piece too. It's just a random little piece of, sorry for the glue. I hate glue on my fingers. This is like a little dotted piece of brown organza ribbon, and I'm going to turn it into a bow and add this. This was just a random piece in a bag of remnants. Try that again. So we're already halfway through the week. It's going by super fast. My son came home a little nervous tonight because report cards come out on Friday, and he's not thinking it's going to look so good. I think that's his way of warning us. It's not going to be good for electronics use during the week if it's bad, so I'm hoping the best for him. Oh, that's a pretty spot for it. I think I'm going to stick it right there. And I probably should stitch it, but I'm not. Just a teeny bit of glue. Stick that there. And guess what? This has been going for about 25 minutes, so it's been really fun to visit with you, but I don't want to take up all your time. I'm enjoying making this snippet roll. I have a whole bunch more fun stuff here. There's this really pretty button that I'll put on somewhere. There's this seed bead that's iridescent. Oops, probably can't see it that close up. Yeah. And you can see it there. There's some pieces of, I was told this is a part of an Irish lace piece. That'd be kind of pretty with the button in the middle. And I like to sew the buttons on so that you can see the thread. And I love these pink beads. So those will end up on there somewhere. And I think I'll add one more thing before we go, which will be this. I love this trim. Actually, I'll make it a teeny bit shorter And the one other thing, did I tell you guys I did a paper snippet roll? I think I did in one of my videos, but that was really fun because you can just take really tiny pieces of tickets and tags and embellishments, paper flowers, and they still roll up nicely, and then you can snip them off and use them for your paper journals too. So I've done that. It's another little piece of lace I think is pretty. On this one I'm trying to keep a lot of it all concealed underneath it so that as it unrolls you don't see any of it and you get a nice surprise as you're unrolling it. That's my goal anyway, and so far I'm really liking it. I think snippet rolls need to be nice and random, but I will put a few more buttons on and a few more pops of color. I like to do the satin roses in like a cluster because you often need more than one when you're decorating things. So I'll be putting some of those on there. And then I have this beautiful cluster of, these are like polymer clay ones though. I don't think these are regular clay roses. So I'm going to put a few of these here and there. What else is hiding in here? I love the Prima flowers. There's a Prima flower with the glitter. There's a little rosette that I can't remember where I got it from, but I thought it'd be fun to put this little pearlized button in the middle. And then I've got the little angels with the amber beads. Little metal tag that says Dreamer. Got some bulb pins, and I can pin a couple things on with the bulb pin. And I really like this bead. It's kind of a rustic, oh, I don't know, boho looking maybe bead. So I'm going to put that on, and then these Dusty Miller looking leaves, maybe with one of the roses. That would be pretty too. So the sky's the limit. It's exactly how I love to work, just real random things here and there. I hope they get used, but if they don't, oh, this is another one of those paper ones. This is by K&Co company, and you can put these on paper snippet rolls, but you can also put them on regular snippet rolls. So I love this bead. It's real fairy-like. It's iridescent and does all kinds of fun things. I think I'll go ahead and pin this on. Those are the angels. So we'll just pin this here, like so. Yeah, so to me a really fun snippet roll is one that makes you keep coming back and having to look again. Here's some fabric I'm going to add that I copied on my laser jet. It was paper and I copied it onto a really pretty soft pink canvas. And I've used this on some of the tags that I sold in my, or sell in my Etsy shop. I'm going to cut it down and go ahead and glue it on. I keep saying I'm going to leave you, but I'm getting more into it. Just a couple dots of glue to hold it down. As a matter of fact, I'll leave the paper backing on, and that way if they want to use this, the glue will only be on the paper backing. And then they'll still be able to have the back of the decorative fabric with no glue on it. So there's this pretty lace. I don't know if that works. Sometimes you have to walk away and come back with fresh eyes too, and decide if you really want to do what it is you're thinking about. I love this lace. It's a gorgeous vintage lace, It's one of the laces that was gifted to me from Pam Garozzo, and I love it. I'm going to share a little bit of it right here because it's just so pretty. Just a couple dots of glue so as not to ruin it. And I will stick this on right here. That'd be a beautiful piece to pull off and put on a tag, in my mind anyway. Let's do one more bow, a really bright pink bow that they can put anywhere they want. There you go. Oh, that's pretty. Right there. See, snippet rolls can just, you can get lost in the details, creating them and looking at them. And that's stuck down. No, I don't know. So I'm going to walk away and think about the rest of the details for a while. I'll show you what I have so far. I love that strip of sequinedy ribbon here. And my little dots of polka dot bow. What's that? Is that glue? I hope not. And trim and the ribbon rose. And that's all for now. So I guess we'll call this my tags and partial snippet rolls. I don't know where I put the tags I just made, but they're here. I just don't want to move too many things so my camera doesn't fall again. But I'm going to go for now, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And I will come back maybe in a project share and show you the finished snippet roll and the other tags I managed to get done today. So keep on crafting, everyone. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your kind comments, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.